Lord of Cinder, the manifestation of all the souls who have linked the flame, master of all known fighting styles. Except one.
So, Dark Souls 3 has 7 crossbows.
Huh?
And we're ignoring this one for being too cool. But these 6 have the infamous tackle skill. But is it really as bad as people say? Let's find out. Tackle costs 7 FP. Consumes 25 stamina. And in the game's very own words.
Skill. Tackle. Lunge into a shoulder tackle, pushing back enemies to create distance. To create distance. Create distance.
What? Ironically, that's the one thing it really can't do. If anything, you close the distance, and bigger enemies will just ignore you. Although, the hyper armor you get is pretty good. Most of the time. It gets worse, sadly. You get no defense bonus beyond the standard 30% thrust penalty. Other skills can reduce damage by half. Even Stomp and Perseverance get that good stuff. So in conclusion, it couldn't be designed worse. Even if it gave defense, it's completely worthless. What's the point when it can't even knock down enemies? Nani? What the? It actually works? For certain enemies at least. Like the dogs. Both kinds. Skeletons will also dissemble.
The ride never ends. Oh.
But it's easier to just punch them.
Oh.
Get bone zoned.
Oh.
Send jailers to prison. And it's really good against bone wheels. Please clap. So for all these enemies, it's scientifically better than the standard kick. Sadly, you can no longer roll those rock lizards. How disappointing. Gladly. You can still flip those pesky hollow clerics. And in terms of damage, we don't. Unless you wear them leggings of thorns. Don't even bother with the rest. We can now deal a devastating 6 damage. And I know what you're thinking. Is it a true combo? Well, for most enemies, just shove and shoot. It really works. Although, it's much more effective to actually use it as a crossbow. Who would have thought that range was safer? As for the player types, they can simply roll away. Disappointing, I know. But for some humanoid bosses, it actually kinda slaps. The tracking is damn good, while the interruption is pretty damn nice. The big question is, can it interrupt? Dem shields. The crossbow's natural counter. Let's see how Tackle tackles this, eh? Whoa, that big sound means it's an instability counter. That's 50% more damage. So, I would call this a total
Success!
well done indeed. Looks like Tackle just kicked it up a notch. This makes me wonder, how does this compare to using a simple kick with an offhand crossbow? This shouldn't take long.
10 hours later.
Bro, where do I even possibly begin? Since this will take too long for me to explain. If only I had someone to put it shortly.
This is Larry,
Hello!
and he has exactly 50 stamina.
And I'm grandson. Please clap. And being the laziest editor ever, I have no stamina and have gained 50 pounds. So I'm gonna have to widen this out just a bit. That's better. So, after testing each and every crossbow, we can see they are all easily breaking Larry's guard. So they must be doing over 50. Except Avalon for some reason. Looking at the cheat table, it only does 32.
They played us like a damn fiddle!
Since I didn't think this through, Larry's stamina is already too low for our tests. But I can't bear to leave him. I'm just going to hack his max stamina to 1000 using my elite hackerman skills. Retesting all the crossbows so I can see how much more than 50 they are dealing, and it's 50. It's almost like there's a game designer or something around here. Speaking of designed games, we can't forget the Knightslayers ring, which the wiki states drains 10% more stamina on blocks. Another round of testing actually proves it's 20%, and to never believe the wikis. And now that we know how strong crossbows are, we gotta test out my kicks. A basic kick does 53 stamina drain. It too gets a 20% bonus from the Knightslayer ring, for a slightly better total of 64. So congrats feet for defeating the cross. Whoa. Hold your horses. I almost forgot. The Horsehoof ring. That accurately improves kicks by 30%. That gives us kicks of 74, or use both rings for 89. So the kicks are the clear winner. And with that, I can stop working and go back to bed for like 4 months. Okay, thanks, bye, see you next time, goodbye, forever, bye.
Grandson, rev up those divine blessings. This video ain't gonna edit itself.
Did you know? When you level a crossbow, it improves the tackle skill, and at max level, it's twice as good. Wowzers! Well, double +1 would be slightly more accurate, but let's not get into the weeds now. This video is tumbleweeds enough as it is. Oh yeah. Anyways, let's add on the Knightslayers ring for that 20% bonus. For 121 for them all. Well, almost all. Begone trash. Now how about dim kicks? You can't level a kick, can you? Well, if you're not me, just swap to +10 melee weapon. It doubles in power, just like the rest. Then here's the Knight Ring. Or just the Horsey Ring. Or both. For a whopping 179 guards broken, although you are committing 2 rings to obliterate this man's balls. That's what you get, Larry. For only having 50 stamina. That's enough to smash him 3 times over. No ball will be spared, even the secret third one. Well, that about sums up all the raw numbers. I hope you enjoyed this little feature presentation. Wink. Anyways, back to the studio.
Did you know that exploding bolts exist?
Please, no.
That's better. So anyways, we can now judge these two comparatively. Kicks are stronger, have no FP cost, although it gets no hyper armor unlike those crossbows. So knowing all this, what does this actually mean against later game shielding enemies? Well, let's take a look. Every single baddie has stamina, and it isn't used for attacks. Instead, it is only used for blocking. And I'm sure you've noticed that everyone has exactly 50 stamina. This is because it's linked to location. As you progress, it grows ever so slowly, but it increases and increases to the maximum of 94. This is the amount of the Ashes of Irithyll DLC. Not to forget the Ringed City. So this means Archdragon Peak is scientifically post-game content. So does this mean we can effortlessly break everyone's guard? You know what this needs.
Push it to the limit. Please don't sue. I just want some montage music that doesn't take my revenue. Welcome to the limit. Tackle them maybe one step more. I can't believe it's breaking the guards. Nothing can stop crossbows anymore. Welcome to the limit. Push it to the limit.
Oh my god. It's working. It's really working. Nothing can possibly stop my boy. Oh yeah. I forgot about these dudes. The stamina of Red Eye guys can be a little bit higher. The percentage increase isn't just 12%. It seems a little random. most of the time. Sometimes it's just for show. I think it's just pranking me. Anyways, even the mightiest red eye is so easily guard broken. So this really was a waste of my time. Whatever, let's just get them out of the what? Wait, this should be possible. Let me see those numbers. Oh, that explains a lot. Because of that shield and his high stamina, we are just failing. Luckily, the kicks have just enough juice to power on through. But he's not the only exception. The Dragon Slayer armor is the only boss with a shield. Unsurprisingly, it's as strong as it looks. But good job for doing it in two. The next dragon-related exception. The Ringed Knight. With great shield. He too requires 2 tackles. Even kicks will need 2. Unless you use both ring slots. This is the only enemy that requires the Horsehoof ring. Oh, we have one more exception. At first, I was really impressed. That reduction is immense. Better than bosses. It's almost suspiciously good. Like my hitbox is mostly missing. Testing with shoes. And what do you know? It works as expected. I think it's the knight's high guarding stance. Even ringless kicks can do it easy. Total overkill. That's more than enough data for my big-brained conclusion. So can tackles do something that kicks can't? Hell yeah! Kicks are very tricky to input correctly. Unlike crossbows, the smooth-brained technique of choice, it interrupts or just works. I'm sure we have all had fights like this, where you just can't land the kick. And when you do, they've already dropped the block. Tackle can stagger most enemies, giving it some extra protection. It's checkmate for skellies. You can even attack enemies on the floor. It even gives counterplay to the crossbow's natural counter. Bait them in and break them down. It also gives crossbow builds a very real way of dealing with some tough foes. And its distance should not be underestimated. All in all, only these rare 3 enemies will require 2 tackles, while kicks are better for these three since they can one-shot their guards. The only real problem Tackle has is this terrible description. Seriously, it should be.
Skill, guardbreaker. Lunge into a shoulder tackle, pushing back shields to break guards.
Much better. Not just because it's called Breaker. In any case, thanks for watching. Play us out, grandson.
I call this Ode to Les Pigeons. Enjoy. Thanks very much. I'm here all week. And forever and ever he won't let me leave. I'm stuck editing videos forever in the dungeon. Please send help and send feed pictures, please.